It's so empowering if we learn how to deal with anger in a
Yeah.
healthy way. Or learning how to release that in a safe environment and in a healthy way. Oh my God, the energy that is being released when you do something like that. Yeah, that was incredibly powerful. It's the first time I told my story, I vomited before, halfway through, and afterwards because it I felt so scared and I hid under my duvet for 3 days afterwards.
Welcome to part two of this conversation. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Let's begin.
It's it's so empowering if we learn how to deal with anger in a
Yeah.
healthy way. Because if anger goes underground, it becomes this horrible animal inside of it. Well, it became a horrible animal inside of me that just fed into my inner critic, and it became such a dark monster, and that I
No.
became this raging, frustrated woman. And anger made my body tense and very rigid, and the way I spoke and stuff. And so learning how to release that in a safe environment and in a healthy way. Oh my God, the energy that is being released when you do something like that. Yeah, that was incredibly powerful. So we um, we are looking forward to continuing that work, and we have our next retreat scheduled for April next year. I'm not going to use this as an advertisement, but there is
It's
you can
okay. I
find.
don't I don't mind. I don't
um,
I don't
but yeah, so
see
it's
I don't see other coaches, childless coaches as competition.
thank you.
I see all of us doing a hard work and putting our bodies and our faces and our voices, doing
Mm,
something really uncomfortable and vulnerable to help each other and to help
yeah.
more people like us. So go ahead and promote it, really.
Thank you. I've just done that, so thank you so much. And I'm very much in agreement with you as well, and that's also why I collaborate with, in this case, Sarah and Yvonne, but also why I'm joining you on your podcast, and why I've worked with Helen Gallagher from Happy and Childless.
Yeah.
I also do believe that we can, by collaborating and by encouraging each other, and by coming together as those voices who have found the courage to speak up on behalf of the community, of the childless community. Because not everybody feels comfortable. And trust me, the first time I told my story, I vomited before, halfway through, and afterwards because I felt so scared and I hid under my duvet for 3 days afterwards because I didn't want to see or hear any comments, and I felt so vulnerable. Um, and then there was this one person who said, "Hey, thank you so much. Listening to what you said made me think differently about myself, and it's because of you." And I'm like, "What? Oh my God, that's incredible!" And so, yeah, I love being supportive of one another in
Yeah.
this community because we need it. We
Yeah.
really need to stand together. We really need to be kind of like, wrap our arms around each other, and holding that safe space for others who are not comfortable enough, or who are, some might never feel brave enough or comfort. Well, not brave. It's not about bravery. Sorry, that's a wrong choice of words. But some might never feel comfortable enough to speak up, or don't want to speak up because,
Or don't want to like do this public
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
This last
yeah.
week I got a message from one of my first interview guests, and she told me like since I uploaded the episode, she had a lot of conversations, especially in her workplace. She's a librarian,
Mm.
and now the the place where she works is taking the DEI, the diversity, equality, and
Yeah.
inclusion. I am saying someone might not know what they mean,
Hmm.
to include childlessness, not by
Yeah.
choice. She doesn't
Mm.
want to speak about the medical things that went on, but she recording an episode and she doesn't want to be in a spotlight. So
Yeah.
she also contributes, and that made me feel so grateful that I'm doing this because it,
Yeah.
like you said, I my first episode is my story, and I also vomited. I was
Mm.
like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? I uploaded
Yeah.
and now it's out there. But getting that kind of message of, or a lot of women that tell me, like, listen to your podcast, help me understand that I'm not alone or that I'm not a bad
Yeah.
person. It's like, oh my God, that's what I wanted.
Mm.
It's just that. And like I said, I don't see each other as a competitor. I think that's also a false narrative we've been fed, that women compete with each other, that they don't collaborate. And I think it's so untrue.
Mm. I I I have seen it. I have experience also at it that we're working with women in my corporate life. Some teams were a lot of women in there, and I don't know if it's competition. Maybe it's maybe insecurities flying around, trying to find
Yeah,
our spaces. But even and then that competition also between mothers and non-mothers.
yeah,
I don't feel that competition in my life, to be honest with you,
no.
because I have a lot of friends who are mums. I have friends who are childless by choice, not by choice, by circumstance.
The
And
whole
for,
spectrum.
yeah, the whole spectrum, every reason you can imagine, it's represented in my circle of, in my social circle of friends, people I know. And yeah, I, I didn't feel, I don't feel the competition there. I have felt it in the workplace. Um, and yeah, perhaps I don't know what feeds into that. It could be, maybe it just, wanting something that you see with another person. Maybe you want something more of that, or that you that someone has on the outside looking in has the perfect life that you might
Yeah,
crave, and vice versa. And perhaps because of the work you and I do, and others in the community, um, perhaps we help break down those barriers, and perhaps that's
yeah,
also why you do, why that's why you don't experience it anymore, and why I also don't experience in the community as such anymore. um um it's because I think what you and I do, and others with us, but it's us talking here, I think that really helps break down the
yeah. The
the walls,
perceptions that and
the perception
barriers.
of, oh yeah, of, or even the need for competition, because
Yeah,
like, hey, let's not fight each other. Let's team up together, and let's bring this narrative further.
yeah.
Mm,
Like my next door neighbor, she has 5 kids. And
mm,
we started talking, and I told her, like, I couldn't have kids. And we had a really interesting conversation because I thought, like, her life was the perfect mother picture. And I hear their kids screaming at her at all
mm,
times. And it's so, like, oh my God, leave that woman alone, you know?
hmm.
So it's also the conversations we have in our daily life. I think I've said this before, especially with the in the episode with Lisa and Sarah from the Elderhood Collective. We are advocating in our daily lives too.
Yeah,
You don't need to pick a camera or microphone, or like you said, become a coach or a therapist
yeah.
to start breaking those barriers. And
Mm.
every time we tell our story, we heal a little bit ourselves too.
Yeah, absolutely. And listening to you, just talking about that, Laura, a thought that comes up in my head is that even if if you don't speak out in public, become a coach or whatever, just if you're listening, like, and you're like, well, but I'm still really sad, I'm still grieving, or I still feel that anger. Um, just by maybe just write down your story for yourself. Just grab a pen and
Yeah.
paper, and just one afternoon or an evening, just sit down and just write down your story for yourself.
Yeah.
That already might be a beginning to break down one of the first barriers within yourself to connect with your story even more, um, um, without putting it out there in
Yeah.
sharing it with someone else even, but just to kind of acknowledge to yourself, like, oh wow, this is my story. And
Yeah. And
and really owning it,
I would
even if
add
it's
to add,
just for yourself. Yeah,
I would add that take the, like, make it a safe space,
of
have
course.
a
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a nice scented candle, tea
yeah.
that you
Music.
like,
Yeah.
music, because the first time it's so powerful and you
Mm,
start reliving also bodily a lot of things.
yeah.
At least that happened for me. When I recorded
Mm,
the episode, I've already, my first episode, I mean, I've already written down my story a
mm,
couple of times and I broke every time
yeah.
I've written it. So when I finally made the video, I was rerunning the sixth version or seventh version
Mm,
and I was more comfortable about it.
yeah.
But the first time I did it was like, okay, I'm going to take this weekend to be comfortable and in touch with my emotions while I unpack the whole thing. Not only the
Mm,
experience, the sensations, the thoughts that went into my mind that you're worthless, you don't deserve to be alive, a lot of things that are super
yeah.
harsh, and we tell ourselves that, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
I
No,
I
definitely.
I wouldn't tell that to anyone that I love,
Mm,
even anyone that I hate. But how can I be my my only person that I'm going to spend my whole life with if I'm talking to myself like that?
yeah. Yeah, and it's actually one of the topics that we address also with through Sacred Women, but also what I do in my private practice with Pure Transformations is we talk about the inner critic, but also self-care, self-compassion.
Yeah,
We talk about rituals. We have a monthly webinar every month with a different topic through sacredwomanretreats.org. You can find the links there to the webinars, and they're free. They're 1 hour once a month, and we talk about exactly this. And also, we invite people who come on the webinar, if they feel comfortable, to share about their experiences in a very safe, confined space.
yeah,
And like you said, and if that feels like a step too far, if you feel uncomfortable meeting up and seeing other women, yeah, like you said, create that safe, confined space for yourself, by really being really kind and compassionate with yourself, and set the tone, set the environment, that it feels almost like, I don't know, a ritual even for
yeah,
yourself, just to kind of really just to connect with your story. And yeah, and if anybody's listening and who needs help, reach out to Laura, reach out to myself, reach out to whomever is in your in on your radar, to get the support that you need for that, because you don't have to do this alone either. There are communities out there.
yeah,
There are spaces where you can go. There are childless therapists, like myself, you as a coach. There's a whole world out there, and there are people who are willing to listen and talk you through, take you through it step by step.
yeah. And thankfully, we are a lot now, a lot of coaches and therapists, and there has to be someone that resonated with you. Like
Yeah.
when I started, there were like two or three, and I wasn't really, I don't know who that is. And so,
Mm,
but now I'm grateful that there are a lot of us because childlessness, by not by choice or by circumstances, is sadly growing.
yeah. Yeah.
So. there has to be someone that can help you out there. That someone is, oh, I think I like that person. I like her glasses, you know.
Thank you. They're new, by the way. So, but yeah, no, and I agree with you. And I think it's not only that childlessness is growing um, on a global scale, because there's
Yeah,
loads of research that's been done, but it used to be 1 in 5. It now in some countries it's already 1 in 4.
yeah,
So we are a growing demographic. We are a growing group of people who are childless not by choice or by circumstance. And but what I love is as well is that the attention is growing for this
yeah,
demographic as well. So that the and what I mean with that is that the number of people who speak up and who do dare to show their vulnerability, who have the courage to speak up in public and to write about it, to talk about it, to share about it, or to share it, I should say. I am really thrilled that those numbers are growing as well,
yeah.
because it's to me it also shows that it's coming out of the
The taboo.
woodworks, out of the taboo,
Yeah,
from underneath the taboo blanket, and it's
yeah,
yeah. And that actually fills me with hope
yeah,
for the future, even though um, I haven't felt hope for a while when I was really grieving because everything felt hopeless.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, this gives me hope, and um, and it's not to say that I just don't have moments where I still feel the sadness and the pain of not being a mum, because that's something I carry with me
yeah,
every single day, and
yeah,
I'm hitting my menopause full on. I've been perimenopausal for a long time since my surgery 13 years ago. But now it's it's fully here. Yay, the joy. But anyway, but also, so I'm noticing those changes. My care hormones are dropping. I have a lot of less fucks to give, so which is a great thing, but it also signals kind of like this new era of my life where I'm moving into. I'm still relatively young. I'm 47. But I'm moving into, in 3 years I'll be 50. So that next part of my life, I'm in my midlife, and that also comes with a lot of losses. What we talked about at the beginning,
yeah,
a lot of letting go. Um, realizing that when I run nowadays, my joints are really protesting so hard that my running shoes might, my running days might soon be a thing that I have to let go of. But it also is like, oh, what is my elderhood is going to look like? What am I doing? So uh, I've had to deal with my mother's death 2 years ago, but my aging father, my aging mother-in-law, um, um, aging relatives, all that kind of stuff, which has also made me think about, okay, well, who's going to look after me, or how am I going to look after me, or how do I want to be looked after
yeah,
as and I know that, like I said, at 47, it's a big life question, but at the same time, like, okay, but if I can start thinking about that now already and kind of plan for that, how do I want to get to that in the next 20 years? Hey, that gives me another way of looking at things. And also, combined with those thoughts are also, again, the thoughts of sadness of, knowing that some of my friends will become grandmothers
yeah,
one day, and that will bring a whole new dynamic and a shift in the dynamic in friendships, in relationships once again, because
yeah,
that's something that I will not be able to share, despite my nieces and nephews and my friends' kids and my godchildren are also, oh no, you'll definitely be, nanny Karen, or granny Karen, whatever. But I'm like, well, yeah, I really appreciate that's
but it's
what
not
you
the
want me,
same.
you want me involved, and I knowing myself, I will be involved, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
So that knowing that that's another loss and another
Wave
yeah,
of the
another loss,
grief.
another wave. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Another wave of grief that I will experience at some point in the future. Yeah, it's all part of where I'm finding myself in this midlife currently, and I'm trying to embrace it as much as possible, and again with a lot of self-compassion.
I'm 43 now, and I've been thinking about my growing old since I was 7 or 8. I had
Mm,
great grandparents alive, so I was really aware of how elder people move or the
mm,
medical things that arises, and it changed when I realized I'm childless. So
mm.
and something I mentioned on my interview with Shodi, and she's doing the alter kin thing,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to build an on-site community for childless people, men and women, that it can be childless, child-free, but intergenerational. And that's
yeah.
something that also brings me hope. It's something
Mm,
like, oh my God, I want to get there and get to live with among friends and not be triggered, but also the sense of community that I think we all need so much.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I remember when I hosted a year-long mentorship program for women who are childless, not by choice. And we talked about planning for the future. It was a 12-month program, and every month had a different topic. And I remember with talking to the group about it, and we came up with Compassion Island. That was like a place. And we decided it had to be like this beautiful kind of Caribbean style tropical island. Um, but that's what we started fantasizing about. Wouldn't it be incredible that when we are all in our elderhood, in our older years, that's a place where we can go with that there are no triggers, but it's full of compassion, it's
Yeah.
full of companionship, it's full of community, it's full of connection, and and that's what we kind of imagined what a future could look like. So yeah, Compassion Island. I still see that in as part of my as part of my elderhood. I don't know in what shape or form, and I also don't know the exact location, but maybe even just holding that in my heart, knowing that I can always kind of close my eyes and just travel to Compassion Island because I'm part of something bigger. Maybe that's enough comfort for now. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I actually close my eyes and see the community I dream of.
Mm,
And I love online communities. I have a membership,
yeah,
but at the same time, I need the the elderly one to be in person, because someone has to be able to take care of us if we fall, and there's
yeah,
someone to call the emergency services. Or
yeah.
so that's why I dream about that too, because I
Mm,
want to feel safe, but I also want to be the safe place for someone else too. That feedback that we get when we have community.
yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see you there, Laura.
Maybe we end up in the same community, because I've been asked, where do you plan to do it? I don't know. I don't, it's still like in my head. I'm planning, but I haven't decided. And one time it was supposed to be in the States. Thank God I didn't went there, because I would be in an ICE detention somewhere now by now. So maybe in Argentina, but maybe in the Caribbean, like you said.
Who knows? And you know what? And perhaps it's just little sub communities all over the world
Yeah.
that are connected through this big online community. Who knows? Yeah. Um, again, this gives me
Shodi is
yeah.
talking about that. She's like
Mm,
doing the pod, in Antarctica to
Yeah.
export the blueprint. And
Hmm.
maybe all our communities end up overlapping in that. And yeah, I
Who
think
knows?
technology will be far more advanced in 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's make sure that we keep up with technology as well as part of our part of growing older.
I struggle a lot with technology, but yeah, I do my best.
Oh, thank you so much, Laura. I
Yeah.
love this. I thank you for putting this thought in my head because I'm it really it gives me hope and it gives me energy. Just
Yeah.
and it fills me with warmth. Just thinking of that idea, like and that it's open to anyone wherever you are in your journey.
Yeah.
Even if you're still angry and if you're still scared and if you're still not even understanding that what you're feeling is grief, you know, the door's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got you.
It's yeah, because we've been there. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm not
exactly.
going to judge you. I understand you and
Mm,
I just hug you and love you while you can't do it for yourself.
mm.
There's a quote I like that is I can't remember, it's kind of long, but it's I'm going to keep reminding you I love you until you realize what I see in you and love yourself as much as I do. It's something it's
Wow.
I'm translating and trying to remember it complete. So,
Mm,
but it's that,
very,
and I needed that at some point, and someone was there for me. So I'm trying to do the same.
yeah. I think it's beautiful, and um, yeah, it's. I think that that's what the world in general needs right now,
Yeah,
anyway. And I do believe that we, and with we, I mean our 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 community on a global scale. Um, yeah, I think we are also very much in need of that, and I think it's a
yeah.
beautiful reflection. Thank you very much. Gosh, we've got very reflective there, Laura. That's very profound, and I really appreciate that you
I
shared that
have my
thought.
moments.
That's beautiful.
Love, before we finish, is there something else you want to say? Do you want to say the place when you're where you're going to do the retreat if you already have it? Anything else?
Yeah, that'd be really nice, actually. Okay, so let me just grab um, the the information. The retreat, the Sacred Woman Retreat, will be held next year, April 9 till 12. So the 9th of April till the 12th of April. Let me, do you edit this? Can I?
I don't, but I will. Yeah.
No. So, okay. This was a blooper, everybody. Let's start again. I tripped over my tongue. We can keep this in. That's fine. Okay, so the next edition of the Sacred Woman Retreats is going to be held from the 9th till the 12th of April 2026 in East Sussex in England, which is in the southeast of England. Um, it's 4 days with Sarah and myself as your facilitators. And you can find out all the information via sacredwomanretreats.org. Um,
It's on the
or
comment. It's on
it's
the description also. I'm going
it's
to.
an yeah, I was going to say it's in the show notes, but it's on it in the description. Um, and if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to answer any questions you might have around that. Um,
And you have plenty of time to book tickets and plane tickets,
yes,
train
because
tickets.
it's 6 months away. And well, yeah, oh my God, no, it's already 5 months away. It's 5 months away. If you want to give yourself a gift to really connect with others, to work on yourself, to heal some of your childless wounds, feel free to come and join us. And if you want to find out what we're about in more detail, you can join us on our monthly webinars. They're also listed on the same website. And if you need any support one-on-one feel free to reach out to me directly through Pure Transformations. I'm happy to connect with you. Um, yeah, Laura, I want to say something to you. I just want to express my gratitude, but also my utmost appreciation for you and doing and you doing what you do, for having found the courage through the anxiety, through the grief, through the anger to actually connect with your story and to give yourself a voice and to share that with the world, and building community from that and building connections with others in the same situation, because it's because of you that we are now talking, because of the work that you do, that we now that we're now talking on this episode. And thank you for being just this wonderful person that you are, and for inspiring others, for inspiring me, and for letting me learn from your story as well. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for that.
I'm feeling super self-conscious. I'm not used to get compliments. Like
Mm,
I use not recording in camera, so it's like, oh my God, what do I do? But I'm grateful you did that, because I'm starting to learn that I deserve love too. So
yeah.
thank you. And
Mm,
thank you for being my guest, for all the patience you had and the conversations we had. And
mm.
I hope we get to do this again, maybe after the April retreat. It would be.
I would love to. I would love to talk to you again. Whether it's on an episode, I know we will talk again
Yeah, yeah. I mean
soon
recording, but
anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, very much love to talk to you again. And thanks everybody for listening as well and for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, a big hug to you, Laura.
A big hug to you too, and please
Thank you,
subscribe to my channel. Go to Karin's and Sarah's, and there's a name missing there.
Yvonne.
Yvonne, sorry.
Sacred Women Retreats.
Sacred Women Retreat
Yeah.
in April, and until the next episode. Bye bye. Thanks for listening. Happy Childless Mindset Podcast. If this conversation spoke to you, subscribe and share it. And if you like more support, come join me inside Wildflower in the Crack, our space for childless not by choice women to heal and grow together.